speaker today is Mr. Tim Adams. He has an education in digital filmmaking and experiences around the world that served as a melting pot and of discovery, passion, and zeal for power of a well-told story. Tim's wide variety of skill sets and knowledge are foundational to the solutions that he brings to every client that he helps and supports. One thing he has learned that story is a core to human nature and is understood globally. I'm curious to hear what that might mean, because I thought, that's, which provides all of us a worldwide audience if we can simply tell our stories well. And that is, I would say, an art to either learn or even tweak to be even better, because I think that is so important, because when we tell a story well, then we actually get into the emotions and the heart of the person. And something I learned today, this might go along with what you're saying, I'm not sure, is when you're interacting with someone new, you've all heard about building trust. But sometimes how you build trust is we need to take the risk away from them saying yes to working with you because you are great. Because sometimes that's, I don't know about you, when I want to go buy something or do something, I always feel, is it worth my risk? And do I trust them? Are they going to provide what they, and so if we could take the risk away, and the way the guy described it is he says he's offering his product, and if you're not happy with this product, he says, it's free. What you just got here, it was a seminar. He says, if you don't feel this seminar is worth it, he says, it's free. So, I mean, what can you do in your business, your service, that would help take that risk away? It's just a thought I thought was pretty neat. Businesses increasingly struggle to reach their goal markets, and videos has quickly become the go-to medium to use towards this end. It's awesome to watch a business succeed by harnessing their unique stories and sharing that through the power of video. Please help me welcome Mr. Tim Adams.
Thanks, sir. Just to quickly address the globally aspect, because I wasn't expecting to do that, but I've traveled to Dominican Republic, Europe, Africa. I've consulted with people in South America, Central America, Australia, Europe, and all across the US. So the idea is that story is so core to who we are. If you think about before we had really cool technology like written words, how was experience conveyed? How was story conveyed, right? Through the oral tradition, using story. So I'm going to address that. All right, today, so I am the owner of Tomato Productions. We're a video marketing company, and the goal is simply to help you figure out the best way to use video in your marketing. But today we're going to be talking about how to accurately measure your marketing ROI. How many of us track our ROI on our marketing? Okay, interesting. This is going to be a good talk. All right, so, doesn't like me, man. That's why I use Mac.
Get out of here. We were going back and forth on Mac and PC earlier.
Yeah, we were. Let's try this again. You know what? I'm just going to use that. All right, so if you are measuring your month over month or your year over year and saying, well, our sales went up this much, and you don't have any idea of where your sales are coming from, or even worse, if you're not tracking them using something like Google Analytics, Clicky, Kissmetrics, Open Web Analytics, there's tons of analytics companies. Okay, if you're not tracking it, how do you know that you're getting a good ROI? Does that make sense? Okay, now, something these will not help you track are offline sources, okay? So if you are advertising radio, TV, newspapers, print, if you're doing word of mouth, referrals, okay, how do you track those? It's important that you have a strategy for that so that you can measure Because if we can't measure it, we can't track it, which means we can't say, okay, these 10 customers came from this source. Cool? Okay, you're with me. Excellent. We're going to be moving pretty fast. So, what I would encourage you to do is break down your sales sources. So you got referrals, social, website, online, print, and organic SEO. How many are familiar with SEO, SEM? All right, cool. The next one might seem really obvious, but you eliminate the non-performers, okay? So you don't have to do it by percentage. You know, you could do it by actual real numbers. But where are the low performers here?
Print.
Shout it out.
Print,
Print.
TV,
Social.
radio.
Social. What about the online ads? What do you think? Yes? No?
No. Don't eliminate.
Don't eliminate them. Okay.
I delete them.
What's the percentage represented?
Well, that's a good question. But I would say that you have to figure out what the cutoff point is for you, right? How many customers, or what percentage of your customers that are coming in is going to be too low? What's the threshold before you say, okay, we're going to pour money, we're going to take our resources and address them and pour them into something else that has a much higher percentage, right? I put this in yellow because I wasn't sure. You know, what works for you at 10% may not work for you, Dan, right? You know, Dan may need 20% minimum. Cool? Very interactive lunch.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So how do you invest in, if word of mouth is working, how do you invest in that? Is that a matter of time as opposed to money?
I would say that it depends on the business. So let's take a service business, which most of us are in service businesses, yes? Any product-based services? I know you are. So your word of mouth tracking, right, or how you boost that is going to be different potentially than yours, Marty. Because you and I do very similar things, right? We're both video producers. We're awesome at it. He's got better hair. But how do you incentivize that? Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because this is something that a lot of people don't think about. Which is better? Getting a good, honest testimonial or referral and then saying thank you versus saying, I will give you such if you give me a good referral.
Thank you.
Well,
I never give a referral without and expect anything in return, so it's always a thank you.
it's more authentic.
And the same thing both ways, you know.
Yeah. If you incentivize somebody to give you a good review or to give you a referral up front, they're going to feel obligated to either say good things about you, which may or may not be true, and it's not going to be an authentic source. And so the quality of the lead is going to go down. Does that make sense? Whereas if you have a thank you gift on the other side that you don't necessarily give out every time, but maybe the referral they gave you was a really, really big one, right? By all means, you know. But there should not be an expectation, like Dan said, of, well, if I refer business, I'm going to get this, right? You want these people to be your brand ambassadors. You want them to celebrate you to the people that they know, because that gives you access to their networks, right? But it does not get you access arbitrarily or inauthentically. Does that answer your question? Ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot the questions.
He asked, how do you invest
Yeah,
in
okay.
word of mouth? All So investing in that, I would say this is all about experience, customer experience. If you provide a consistent customer experience that exceeds their expectations, under promise, over deliver, that will grow exponentially. Because when people buy from us, it's more than know, like, and trust, right? That's the foundation. But what they're really buying from us is the experience of working with you, right? How many people go to networking events, this one and other ones throughout the month? How many financial planners do you meet? How many real estate agents? How many, what are the other ones?
Bankers.
Bankers, there, of course. So there's lots of people that you meet that are in very similar fields, right? So how do you differentiate yourself if you're in one of those really high saturation fields? It's all about what you provide yourself.
Not service.
Any more questions? Yes?
Just what is the percentage representing that you have up there?
I just tried to get to 100%.
No, I mean, what is, so if word of mouth is 45%, what is that saying? Is it saying,
Business or referrals.
is that saying that that's
Well, that
conversions
is
or
gonna be-
clients
Or your
or leads
budget.
or,
That's your business. So if I make a sale,
oh, your percentage of your business?
Yeah.
Okay.
so if I make a sale, or percentage of revenue, let's put it that way.
Percentage of revenue?
Yeah.
All right.
So if I have a sale, ideally I want to know where that customer came from. How did you hear about me? Who told you about me? Because that is how we track. That's one of the ways that we track where our marketing sources, or what marketing platforms, let's put it that way, are driving people to us, right? It doesn't make any sense to invest 15 grand a year in SEO if you're only getting 5% of your business from SEO or search. That's organic.
Right, having those percentages, does that help you also understand what you're good at and what you need to work even more at?
It can identify deficiencies, certainly. You might be really good at online ads, you might have really good SEO, but your website sucks. Right? So if you're getting a lot of traffic to your website, but you're not getting a lot of conversions, you're not getting a lot of people calling, emailing, purchasing, that's a deficiency. Right? Basically, we want to make that process as smooth and easy for the customer as possible. Now, not all of us have services that people can buy off the website, right? So the call to action on the website, what the website is supposed to do, is different based on the kind of business you're in. What Marty and I do, they can pay, I don't know how your website's set up, but on mine, they can book like a package if they want, right? They can schedule a free consultation. Those are actions that they can take, so I need to tell them to take those actions, right? Whereas, where are you guys from?
Insurance agent.
Insurance, okay. So, if they go onto a personally branded page that you guys have, your job is to get them on the phone, or submit an email, or fill out a form, or something like that. It's not buy now, correct?
Right.
So that's different from what my website is supposed to do. We track it? Excellent. All right. So why are they working? Going another level deeper. Okay. Oh no, it's there, but it's black. I can read it, but you can't. It's okay. So word of mouth, again, customer experience. I can barely read it. Website, good copy, lots of visuals. Does it flow well? These are things that we need to look at. Maybe research what makes a good website. Okay, online ads, properly targeted demographics.
That never spoke.
No, it's okay. It's PowerPoint. So with online ads, you have to know who your audience is. How much money do they make? Where do they live? What kind of work are they in? We've all heard this, right? It's all familiar. But that is what drives a successful marketing campaign, is understanding who you're trying to reach and who you're trying to sell to. And then organic is accuracy and relevancy to your market. Okay, again, working together to understand. Online ads, these are notoriously difficult because you get a lot of, and like social, right? You get A/B testing. Does this ad and this wording work better than this ad with this wording? It takes an incredible amount of time. I don't have time for that. I pay somebody to do that because they're good at it. They like doing that. Why do I want to do that? I'm not good at that. So operate in my strength, not in my weakness. Sorry. Get off my soapbox. All right. So some marketing methods will take longer to start generating performance. Okay, SEO takes a while. Marty, maybe you can chime in on this. I don't believe in buying your way to the top.
Correct.
Okay. I knew I liked you. So you can pay, like in insurance, that's a heavily competitive market, right? The search terms that people search for in your industry are going to be very expensive, right? Now you individually don't necessarily have to pay for that, right? But if you guys are thinking, okay, if I do online ads, okay, those ads that show up on a Google search on the side, or the sponsored ads at the top, let's say, give me a kind of insurance that you guys do.
Auto insurance.
Auto insurance.
Just throwing one out there.
That's about $30 a click. I'm just throwing that out there, right? You get 3,000 clicks a month. You do the math. That gets expensive quickly. So, I took it away. When you're looking at those marketing platforms, those marketing sources, online ads becomes very expensive very quickly. So what are the other ways that we can generate business? Part of it is that word of mouth, right? For you guys, being in a very competitive world, customer experience is going to be huge, right? What do you provide differently than what he provides, and vice versa, right? And I'm going to get back on my soapbox now. I think in business, we all have a mentality, not all of us, that's a general statement. I think we have a tendency to look at somebody that's in our field as competition, right? And they are, but there should be a thought process of there's more than enough business to go around, unless you're in a very, very niche market, right? Marty does not threaten me, and I don't threaten him. He's a good friend of mine. You know, I would rather work with people than against people, right? Because Marty's personality, his experience, his expertise is different than mine. I would rather be able to refer somebody to Marty because they're going to be a better fit than forcing myself to adapt who I am to work with somebody that I'm just going to butt heads with, creatively, you know, whatever. So, all right, rant over. So, all that to say, establish correct expectations and commit. If you're going to commit to SEO and you're going to want to do it the organic way, which we recommend, I'm not going to go there, then commit to it. That's a 6-month minimum process, okay? Also, don't throw all your eggs in that basket. Say, okay, what are some other sources that can get generating faster? Social is huge. Instagram, like the single greatest marketing platform ever. Just hashtag into the market that you want. It's awesome. We all familiar with hashtags? Okay.
Hashtag yes.
All right, we have an interactive component. Who's good at math? All right, you guys are my guys. All right, your job.
We'll do our best.
Your job is to calculate what our total profit is going to be using the information that I've given you. Okay. Your job is to tell me, is this good ROI or bad ROI? Okay? And for the camera, oh, you're, okay, I see what you did.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much that.
So initial spend is $400. You get 200 new customers after 6 months. Marketing will cost you $3,500. Your average profit margin is 20%. So how do we calculate this? $400 times 0.20 times 200, right? That gives us our total profit. Then we subtract the 3,500, right? And that gives us our total
Profit.
right. But our break even is 44. So we know that we're making profit. So what we're looking for is a difference between the spend and the profit. Who's got it? I think she's beating you to it.
Well, I have 12,500, but that's just taking the 400 times 0.2 times 200 minus 3,500. So there's something, I think, I guess.
Does that sound right? I actually did have the profit here, it just didn't translate. And it's not in the black this time. Well, let's just use that number, 12,500. Okay? Is that a good profit margin for a $3,500 investment? What's the rate of return? What's the ROI? 75%.
You're looking at a 3-to-1 there, you're 4-to-1. Roughly round figures. I don't think that's a very good problem.
Okay. Who thinks it's good? Okay. Who thinks it's bad? Well done. All right. One more. This one's a little harder. This is high value stuff. Okay. So maybe we're going to talk about. Trying to think of a relevant construction project that, let's say that you got a smashing deal and that's, they're a bathroom remodel company. Okay? Using the same process here. I don't know if the break even is correct, but and if somebody's calculating it, just throw out the number.
119.
Yeah, 119,000.
Okay. So 119,000, 25,000. Good ROI?
Yep.
Bad ROI? All right. So let's say that you had that 119,000, okay? That was your profit margin. Awesome, great year, or great 6 months, 12 months, okay? But you gotta take it that step deeper. Where did those people come from? Were they walk-ins? Were they phone calls? Were they emails? Did they hit the website? If they did, what actions did they take on the website? Did you know Google Analytics will tell you, they'll show you how people flow through your website, what page they come in on, and what pages they click through before they leave your site. So you guys have all heard the term data, right? Big data and all that. This is part of what they're talking about. Is all of this information is just, it's there. And Google Analytics is free, right? Now, depending on your particular web host or your website platform, there may be some cost involved, but learning how to read that data is a totally different thing. When you first log in, you're overwhelmed with the amount of things being presented to you. So, we got 40 new customers, okay? Knowing where they came from, what was the process that they went through in order to reach a purchase decision, this is all important information, right? Because once you understand the process, then you can reinvest, you know, a chunk of that $119,000 profit into that process. You know, on the front side, in the middle, just making that process as smooth as possible. There's always room for improvement. Always. The second you think you've reached where you need to be, you're in trouble. Exactly. Arrogance and pride have no business in business. We exist to serve, not the other way around. Yes, one of the last ones. So, ROI, what is good for these guys is going to be different than for Dan, it's going to be different for Marty. Okay? It's situational. So, if you don't know the answers to these four kind of questions, we'll call it, then you've got some homework. Because, I mean, this is foundational. Upsell opportunities, why leave money on the table? Somebody buys from you, they show that they know, like, and trust you. That's golden. And the stats say 40% more likely to buy from you again. So are you not giving them the opportunity to do that? And if so, why? All right. That's all I got. Questions? No? Okay. There's my contact information. I had a video to play, but the sound's not working, so you can see it on my website.
I wanted to touch a little bit, or I guess comment on bonding with people or referring people in your own industry. Like, we had someone the other day that we weren't able to open an account for them. They had some severe credit issues, but Lighthouse Credit Union, one of their things that they do is open second chance accounts for people. So when you're able to refer somebody to somebody that can help them, it builds your credibility, and then maybe, you know, in the future they come back to you because you give them a solid.
Well, and you never know who they know,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I was always told, it's who you know. When I first started my business, I decided, okay, it's who I know. So I'm going to build this huge network, right? 15 years later, I've now learned that it's who knows you. You can have the largest network, the largest Rolodex in the world, right? But if nobody knows you, that means you're calling them, they're not calling you. Right? You're doing all the work. And what we want as business owners and, you know, salespeople is we want to spread the message that we exist to serve. Even if that means I'm not going to profit off of helping you out. I would rather add value to every interaction that I have than to go in with, how can you help me? Right? And I guess the final point that I'll drive home is, if you're the customer and you're going to a business or a service provider, what experience would you want? Provide that.